I'm gonna see me eat ice cream. Dad, this pole.
Nick, like, you want
Oh,
to
yeah,
join us on our
people need
podcast?
to.
Absolutely.
You coming in here?
No, he's not.
You're not plugged in. I have my papers, sort of, Nate. Because we sort of need to do that.
We're not done.
I have no idea if anybody's on there right now.
There's one person.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Oh, hi. Hi, one person. Who is it?
It's JG.
What's up, buddy?
Of course it is.
Wow, he like really fast.
Well, he knew we were doing this. I told he's
Oh.
he's been looking forward to it all day. He's asking about it. So,
Okay. This was.
I'm busy.
Okay.
We're still trying to figure out what
Here's
state.
one
we're in.
anything else. Here's another anything else, which will be Dad.
Yeah, we each get one of those.
And here's my anything else.
You have your headphones, Jonathan, Michelle?
No.
You're fired. You're no longer part of the
This is the hot takes, which I didn't.
Oh, the craziness is all you speak on.
The craziness is only.
And
What are
we
you talking about?
that person's on.
What's up? No, that's the same. That's JG.
There's 2 viewers though.
Oh, hi, 2 viewers.
I thought you were on there or something.
I'm not on there yet. I'm working on it.
Hasn't tour.
Well, I can't do it on my phone.
Banter.
Oh,
It's a banter. And then
I
we
hate
have
this thing. It doesn't work.
thingy. We have another thingy.
It needs Viagra.
Wow,
Family friendly, family friendly.
PG, PG. Now we have.
What's up, Rick? That's who was on there.
How do you know?
Because I know, because I
Oh,
Rick.
it just now popped up.
I can't.
We're still trying to figure out what we're doing here.
I got the banter.
The
I
banter.
got the banter.
The banter.
We each get a banter, though.
I know we need to get a banter.
We each have to know, and so we need to have
Sammy's
clues.
banter and then the second.
Oh, man, we are not ready for this.
The comments. I was asking because I work saying.
Go for it, JJ. I'm glad that we can have you on, like you can watch.
Isaac says hi.
What's up,
Hi,
Isaac?
All right, hold on.
I
I have to make sure we have like sound. and
no
stuff.
idea what we're doing tonight.
I know we're talking about Galaxy's Edge.
We're talking about Galaxy's Edge.
I need to grab my headphones.
You need to. I thought he said crap. It said. I was like, what the heck was that?
It's a good ice cream. No, it's not ice cream.
It's not ice cream.
It's sherbet.
Oh,
Where's
can you
the
turn your
echo?
sound off on that, please?
Oh, this is my phone. Wait. Yep. Okay, now we're good.
So there was this news about this thing called Galaxy's Edge.
Oh, GG.
So
There is.
we thought.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much everyone's main show topic now because what are you doing? I'm pretty sure that's going to be everyone's main show.
Well, not my
Topic.
zeros.
Mike Zero just made it.
Right. But,
And
you know,
it's
since there's
Galaxy's
been no
Edge.
actual news, it's pretty much all.
According to Mike Zero, Anakin Skywalker is going to appear in episode 9 and have 2 lightsabers.
Awesome.
Oh, I saw this.
So what's all this talk about Star Wars Celebration today? Did we miss something, guys? You can tell us.
I don't know because I
Because
didn't-
like it's like trending right now on our lists here. So like it seems like was there some announcement I didn't know about? So
I saw this article and it was like George Lucas is being brought in to help out with episode 9.
yeah.
And someone spoiled it, the clickbait, because the source was Mike Zero. And I kind of figured, oh, it's probably Express.co.uk or Mike Zero.
all right, get your papers ready. You're making a mess in our podcast.
Sammy, this is why you eat in another room.
I like the way that you spelt it the first time, JG. Very some stuff. That was good. So I like that
Very-
spelling better.
There, ooh.
All right, let me see here. I need to figure out if
This.
our actual
Say nothing.
dashboard is working now. Because a minute ago things did not look
Let's
positive.
talk chat. Live
Okay.
chat.
I don't even have my.
You have your headphones?
Have my headphones.
Where's my headphones?
Sorry.
Where am I going? There. Okay. All right. Da-da-da-da.
Hi, Mom. Come in.
Say hi to John, to JG, and to Rick. That's Mom.
Hi.
That's
By the way, she's feeling much better.
Yes.
Thank you for your thoughts and
so
prayers.
much. Just Never mind.
No, you're good.
Did you say that? Little boy.
No, he's watching it with his dad.
Oh.
She's whispering about you, Isaac. So.
Not in a creepy way.
I want to send you a gift.
Well, we're bringing him one at celebration. We already talked about it.
I know, but I want to send him one.
It's gonna
Mom.
be straight from mom.
She's going.
She wants to give it.
If she does, she's going to do it. All right, Nate. Sam, can you finish your ice cream so we can
I'm
start?
working on it.
I hate those.
You are the
things.
slowest ice cream eater on the
I
planet.
savor it.
You started that before the car right here, and I.
He's still eating his
Sounds like
ice
your
cream.
father.
Oh my lord, we got that ice cream like 45 minutes ago.
So you need to get his
We got it already.
He's a Patreon.
address. Oh, what did you say?
Right, that's what I was trying to say. We're gonna bring him something special.
Like very special.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We got a plan.
We got a plan, Isaac.
Make sure I got some stuff here. Nope.
You just fit that whole bottom half of that cake cone. Wow. You can't hear this.
I gotta be honest with you. One of my favorite songs in Star Wars is Rey's theme. I think it's amazing. But, all right. Nathan, are you ready to do this?
I think so.
You want to practice it while he finishes chewing here? While he thinks of his chew-ta?
You're pretty funny tonight.
It was punny. Ah! Speak into your mic, please.
Jedi Steps is good. Yes.
Yes,
Please.
that is true.
Will you speak into your mic, Nate?
Yes.
Sam, will you speak into your mic, please?
Shut up.
Please.
What else do you want me to say?
I need to make sure it's actually right.
Here, how's this? Is this better?
It's better, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Got your papers? Why don't you practice it for us, BB Nate? Practice the intro one time before we go live. Well, we're not going to go live, but we start the recording. Go, come on, we got to start this.
Oh, I had to belch.
Oh my goodness.
Belch.
Belch.
I'm so sorry, folks.
We're like
We're not sneezing and sniffling though, which
Can you read that stinking intro?
I'm trying to I gotta get in it. I gotta get in it. Don't do that to me.
Okay, read it, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm afraid my voice is
We
gonna
can
crack
touch
like
you
last
for a
week.
minute.
I'm afraid my voice is gonna crack like
Just read it.
last week.
just say,
Welcome, Star Wars fans, to episode 63 of Tatooine and Sons. We're still waiting for a trailer or a teaser or even a title for episode 9. But that doesn't mean we're lacking some very exciting news to talk about. Disney has given us a ton of new information about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge coming to both Disneyland and Walt Disney World later this year. The details have us slobbering more than Jabba the Hutt waiting for his dinner to be served. We've got all the details for you. Plus, we'll try to figure out how Kaz is getting out of the mess he's in on Star Wars Resistance, and we'll give some hot takes. I have sensed a disturbance in the Force. It appears to be centered on a planet. Wait, who said this?
The Emperor and Front Alliances.
That's
I
what I
went
thought.
down a deep dive for this week's quote.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's time for Tatooine Sons.
You got to slow down, okay?
Ah,
When we do it for real, will you slow down?
Sure.
You make a promise?
I can't promise nothing.
Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
we're getting ready to start. 'cause
what do you like more though? Han Solo's theme or Rey's theme?
I don't know.
You really? I thought it would be a resounding Han Solo.
I love Han Solo, but I like Rey's theme.
Ah,
He likes the
that's
music of
interesting.
Rey's theme, but he likes the character of Han Solo.
But he really likes Han Solo's
I do
theme
really like
too.
Han Solo's theme. Okay, are you ready for this? We're gonna start.
Sure.
Can we actually start a recording? We're gonna go ahead just to make it easy, and we'll do the podcast network, the Commonwealth Network plug.
Oh, crap.
You gonna sneeze? Oh, geez, here it comes.
Ah.
Wow. All right.
It's not going to be as bad as that.
No, we're good. Okay. You ready? Because I'm going to start this thing. Are you good? I'm going to mute us first. Hold on. Because you know what your shoot is?
Vaguely.
Okay, we're starting.
True Star Wars fan, if you're not a Star Wars fan.
You got 45 seconds, Bella,
Oh, 45 seconds to what?
before you have to start.
Oh.
63 episodes, and he still doesn't know what he's doing. On
Oh, I do know what I'm doing.
All right, let's do this.
I just hope my voice doesn't crack again.
Well, you're a 13-year-old boy. Your voice cracks just about every time you speak. So.
Yeah. This is really my
This is a
favorite
horse
song.
theme. It's
I
pretty
really
good.
like this one.
I like
Please don't
Christmas
mess.
lights.
All right, you ready? Are you ready?
Welcome, Star Wars fans, to episode 63 of Tatooine Sons. We're still waiting for a trailer or a teaser or even a title for episode 9. But that doesn't mean we're lacking some very exciting news to talk about. Disney has given us a ton of new information about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, coming to both Disneyland and Walt Disney World later this year. The details have us slobbering more than Jabba the Hutt waiting for his dinner to be served. We've got all the details for you. Plus, we'll try to figure out how Kaz is getting out of the mess he's in on Star Wars Resistance, and we'll give some hot takes. I have sensed a disturbance on the Force. It appears to be centered on a planet named Batu. It's time for Tatooine Sons.
You were supposed to do that like the Emperor.
I have sensed.
I can't do an Emperor.
That is terrible.
I have sensed it.
Yeah,
You
no,
sound
you
like
a smoker.
You sound like Elmo if you smoke.
It appears to be centered on a planet named Batu.
Yeah.
I've never tried it. It's the first time I've ever tried the Emperor.
I'm not going to because I'm stupid. I can't do any of this.
Yeah, sorry about that.
We just need Ian McDermott in here.
Yeah, we'll get him on the show when we're at celebration.
No big
right?
deal.
Yeah.
Easy.
Turn it on.
Strings.
There is no drug.
You can do him.
I can do him okay. Not great, but
But you can do Jar Jar really well and the podcast announcer.
Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah. And but your pod race announcer kind of morphs into
he
Jar Jar.
does. I know. We're not done yet. I can't do Kylo. I've never even tried.
All
right, you ready?
Welcome, Star Wars fans. This is Tatooine Sons, your weekly look into all things Star Wars from the unique perspective of a father sharing his love for the amazing space fantasy saga with his two sons. I'm BB Nate, and I'm joined first by my brother, Samuel the Hutt.
A tribute to Star Wars fans. Thanks for tuning in. And if you're not a Star Wars fan, then you are missing out on some absolutely amazing theme park stuff.
Haven't you done that one before?
Probably. I've probably done a lot of these before.
But
You kind
they
of
probably
like when there's
aren't.
not a whole lot of news. I mean, this is big news, but when there's not a whole lot of news, you just kind of start like reusing.
Yeah,
stuff.
this was a hot take that morphed into a main topic for me today. The more I learned about this, I was like, yeah, that can't be a hot take because
No,
it'll take up the whole show.
Yeah.
And then we'll have to find a main topic, and the main topic will be like 5 minutes long because nothing else has happened. So it's morphed into this. So anyway, it's your turn, BB Nate.
Oh, of course you have Star Wars without bizarre father figures. And on that note, here's my wait, I forgot. And of
Just
course,
do it again.
you can't
Start
have
over.
Star Wars without bizarre father figures. So on that note, here's my dad birthday Jedi guy.
You feeling all right?
I'm out of it. Like
Yeah.
it's
Did you take a little bit too much ice cream this evening? or
no,
whatever?
I've been doing a lot. I
Yeah,
woke
he's
up-
been busy. He like got up, he did school, he helped.
No, I
because he
got up.
homeschools. You guys know that, right?
I got up. I helped mom put shelves together and vacuum the downstairs and do all that stuff. Then I did my school, and then I ate lunch, which was like a 5-minute break, and then I baked cookies with mom, and then it was about 3 o'clock or 3:30 when that started, and then I finished up my school, and then I went to hand out cookies to the neighbors with you guys, and then I went to dinner, and it's been busy.
It has been, and then we went to Chick-fil-A,
Yeah.
which is Jesus food, we call
Jesus.
it in this family. Sam works at Chick-fil-A.
I do.
I worked at Chick-fil-A. BB Nate, are you going to work at Chick-fil-A?
Probably.
You should. Anyway, yeah, we handed out cookies tonight to the neighbors. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. So you guys got big plans starting Saturday morning, right?
Really early Saturday morning.
Around probably
We have to be to the airport at what time?
4:30. So we've got to
And
get
we
up
have to
at
go
night.
from Colorado Springs to Denver,
Denver,
which
Which
is
is
an hour and a
an
half.
hour and a half. And then we got to get up and get ready, which is
Well, you're just going to throw
we
some
need to
clothes
be
on.
there probably an hour before.
No, we're going to be there at 4:30. Is what it doesn't leave
Oh.
at 4:30. You have to be there at 4:30.
That's right.
So, but you got some cool suitcases to take with you.
We're just gonna take. We're gonna be able to fit all our clothes in just one.
Which one are you taking?
BB-8.
You're taking BB-8 since that one went to Israel and got lost. You're gonna try it again?
Oh, that! Don't remind me of that.
Yeah. It took us like 4 days to get your luggage when we went to Israel back in October, November, September, whatever. That was fun.
No,
Yeah, so you're gonna be in Orange Beach, Alabama, Redneck Riviera. Woohoo!
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw!
You're gonna be there for a week.
A week.
That'd be
yes,
cool.
a week.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, we're excited.
Yeah. So, I mean, what's like the thing that you are most hoping to do while you're down at spring break?
I don't really have anything I'm most hoping to do.
You know, there's a microphone right there, and
Oh.
it's better if you're talking to that. It's this thing we call a podcast,
Oh.
and it's actually something that we record so people can hear it on the other side.
Oh, is that how that works?
That is how it works.
Okay. I mean, there's not really anything I'm like specifically looking forward to. I just look forward to the trip every week. So
Cool.
I'm excited.
Hang out in the pool at the condo.
I'll go to the hot tub a lot. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What about you, BB Nate? What are you hoping to do?
I don't have really much then.
All right. Great trip.
It's gonna be fun.
We're just excited. We're gonna spend time with our grandparents. We'll do.
I'm excited you're going to be out of the house for a week.
Hey.
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. I'll miss you guys a little bit. Not as much as Mom. Mom
No.
always like freaks out from like the time you leave till the time you get back. So.
Yeah.
But I'll miss you guys. We'll have to find some way to do Skype you guys in for the podcast. That'll be fun. You guys bring your computer, right?
Mm.
Okay. So we'll Skype you guys in.
Bringing.
Well, that one. The one over there on the other side of the room, not the one we're recording with here. So cool. Welcome on YouTube Live, everybody. You got Rick, you got JG. Looks like that's it right now. It's because we started late, I think, too. So, you know, if all of our East Coast friends are like, yo, it's late.
Yo.
So anyway, yeah, so that's kind of cool. Rebels Day, March 5th. We haven't figured out what we're doing for that yet. I just know that I'm going to be teaching a class all day and spending time on my breaks tweeting about the most amazing television cartoon animated series ever made, in my humble opinion. I asked that question on Twitter. I think we talked about this last week, but I think the Rebels is the best.
Agreed.
That's my favorite. What about you, BB?
I agree.
Rebels or Clone Wars?
Rebels.
Where's Resistance in this thing right now? Is it still third place?
Yeah.
It's okay to say that. You know,
Yeah.
It's not. Things haven't really developed as much, obviously, as other things.
No.
So
I would say it's still third.
it was good. It's getting better.
Oh,
Getting really good.
totally.
And we've liked it from the beginning, but it's starting to really heat up. So
Mhm.
we'll talk about that a little bit. And then, if you're watching this right now or listening to this right now, I guess is the most, what I meant is listening, because this is primarily a podcast. We'd love for you to check out our Patreon page, because, the Patreon support is going to help us do some things at Star Wars Celebration. And we certainly appreciate all of our Patreon supporters like Rick and John, and any that are watching us on YouTube Live right now. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys so much for your amazing support. And John, I think you're pretty much involved in trying to map out all the different panels and things like that for the public for Star Wars Celebration. He's involved in this group that's trying to track all of them and get them all on the
that's
schedule.
cool.
And so we'll just let you tell us where to go.
When they release the podcast the panels, Nate and I are going to have to do some serious planning, more so than last year. Last year, we were like, oh yeah, we'll go to this one. Or yeah, we'll go to this one. This one sounds cool. We'll do this, and then we've got a little bit of break here. This year, we were going to be so packed. With podcasts, meeting people, panels,
doing our own show.
Yeah, it's going to be
video stuff.
Oh yeah,
it's going to be awesome.
I'm excited.
So what are we going to take for video? How are we going to do that?
I got an iPhone. We got some Samsungs.
We've got really nice cameras. So
just grab a selfie stick and go. Let's not complicate this. Let's have fun.
Are we going to rent that thing from the library?
I don't know, because I don't know how it works. So I'm scared.
Oh, it's actually the leading and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I know it is, but I don't know.
And people will actually just use that for what we're doing.
I know.
And they give you.
It's a Zoom mic thing we can rent from the library.
The library will show you how to work it.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. Well, why don't we get on the show then? Can we start on the show? So. Oh wait, I know we've been recording, but can we start on the real part of the show?
Right.
Move on to the podcast for the week. Mm-hmm. You guys are awesome. All right.
Were we muted?
No, we weren't muted. Nothing super scared, crazy. We're starting.
We're gonna have to make sure that we're not
muted.
muted.
Around 55 guests.
What did you say?
55 plus guests. Which I feel like that was about the same as last year. There were a lot
What
of
did he say?
guests at Celebration.
55 plus guests.
Yeah, JG, if you ever want to go to Israel, let me know. I can hook you up in a way that we can like make this happen. So, and you should go with Arnold Fitt, who was the guy that ran into JJ and the crew and Oscar Isaac at the Jordanian airport when he was going to Israel. And he's going to be going back, and we're going to connect with him at Celebration. I need to hook you two up, and then you should go with him.
Plan and have a backup plan. For
Yes,
And then throw out the backup plan.
and then just kind of wing it.
And then kind of just
All right,
go
let's
to
talk about the podcast poll. All right, was The Phantom Menace the first Star Wars movie you saw in the theater? That's what we're talking about. We got 3. We're doing. We got Emily, who's a Patreon supporter. Roberto, who's a Patreon supporter, and Daniel. Who wants Daniel?
I'll do Daniel because I'm pretty sure I had that helmet.
Yeah, I think you did. Okay.
That's my
I'm
criteria
going to do
there.
Roberto because I can say his name finally, and you can do Emily. You ready?
Roberto.
Roberto. I like saying even though he's like from Scandinavia or
What?
Norway. Or
Roberto.
something. I know, but I always get that wrong, so I'm not going to say that on the show.
We don't have any Scandinavian beers because I'm pretty sure
Well,
they
there's
just
right
got...
now. I think it's Rick and John. So.
Oh, okay, so we're good.
Yeah, we're good. All right, let's get over here. Get over here. Stop. All right, so we're gonna go straight into the bumper. Okay,
Bumper?
the bumper.
Bumper. Bumper.
Okay, you guys ready? I'm doing it.
Bumper.
Stop. Oh. It does echo longer when you have these headphones on. But anyway, all right. Was The Phantom Menace the first Star Wars movie
No.
you saw in the theater? This is sort of a poll. You kind of knew the results were going to be. You got
Right.
10 movies, and you're taking one and seeing if it's the first one that people saw in the theater. But it's also sort of weighted to a possibility because it was the first one of the prequel trilogies.
Right.
So if you hadn't seen the original series and you were going to the movies for the first time, or the Star Wars movies for the first time, it was a possibility there. So yeah, it was pretty simple. 25% said yes. 75% said no. We had a lot of votes. We still have another day left. We had like 645 votes. One of the things that's been cool about this is hearing all the comments and the stories.
Yeah.
The vast majority of the people being like,
Yeah.
no, it's not my first. This was my first, or that was my first, or whatever. But it's been pretty cool. So who's got Emily? You got
I
Emily?
do.
Emily's a Patreon supporter. Thank you, Emily, for your support. You're amazing. And by the way, all you guys that are Patreon supporters, February got away from us. I promise you that your stickers and your shirts and stuff like that, they're on their way. We're in the process of getting that. They're ordered, they're designed. In fact, Stormtrooper Pete, he was a Patreon supporter. He was one of, we were the very first podcast he ever listened to. You guys remember that?
Oh, wow.
The 50th
Really?
anniversary?
I didn't
Our
remember
50th
that.
episode.
Really?
His comment was that we were the very first Star Wars podcast that he ever listened to.
Aw.
And he's big on Instagram. You should check out Stormtrooper Pete on
that's right.
Instagram. He
Is
does
that cool?
a lot of the 3.5-inch figures where he like models them, puts them in scenes, takes photos of them. They're
These
amazing.
look
He
awesome.
created the image that we're using
Oh, cool.
for this month's theme, which we didn't even talk about because of the move and the job change, which was love. But it's interesting. It's really cool. I can't wait for you guys to get this. This is going to be awesome. So anyway, yeah, thank you, Emily, for being a Patreon support.
Emily Hoffman at
Millie Hoff.
Okay.
Millie Hoff. Yeah.
My first was The Force Awakens, but Revenge of the Sith came out when I was in 3rd grade, and everyone at school knew I was a big Star Wars fan. And they kept asking me if I had seen it, so I lied and I said that I had to avoid telling them that my parents wouldn't let me see it. PG-13 movies as a 9-year-old.
Oh, that's sad. I mean, that's kind of a cool story, but feeling like you're going to be made fun of because you didn't, get to go see a PG-13 movie because you were 9. Totally get you, Emily. Here's the deal: I didn't get to see A New Hope in the theater.
Because I thought it was what?
Well, I was only 2 when A New Hope came out.
Oh. You watched that on HBO.
I watched it on the HBO though.
Mindlessly.
And then I didn't get to see Empire Strikes Back in the theater. And then one Sunday afternoon, mom of one of my friends down the street came to the house and asked if she could take me with her kids and some other kids in the street to go see Return of the Jedi in 1983. And my parents wouldn't let me go because we had something going on that night. I didn't
It
get to
was
see
Sunday night.
Sunday Night Church, yeah, and so I didn't get to go see
That's
Return of the
really sad.
Jedi in the
That's a
theaters.
shame.
You know, and so I actually, when I made this podcast poll, I actually was saying and thinking from the perspective of The Phantom Menace was the first Star Wars movie I saw in the theaters. But people made comments on the replies that reminded me that's not true, because the special editions were released in 1997, and I saw it. My amazing wife took me to all three of them to go see them when they came out in the theaters. They came out in like January, February, and March, I think, and I got to see all three of them in theaters. But I'd already seen them, so I didn't really count it. But the first time I saw a Star Wars movie for the first time in the theater was The Phantom Menace. So I got Roberto, right?
Yes.
Roberto Moreno, another one of our amazing Patreon supporters, Jedi Council.
Who is not?
Yeah, I don't know.
He's Scandinavian, which
He's from. I'm sorry. I don't remember what country you're from, Roberto, and I feel like a bad person every time I say that. Okay, yes, but not back in '99. So The Phantom Menace was the first Star Wars movie he saw in the theater, but not in 1999. He was only 5 years old then. All right, I'm just going to stop right here and say, what's wrong with? All right, there we go. Yeah, everybody's so much younger than me when I read this. Emily's like, yeah, I was in third grade when Revenge of the Sith came out. What? Are you kidding me?
Oh, I was
Third grade when Revenge of the
if you
Sith
think
came
about
out?
it, I was
like a
probably
couple
not
months.
even born.
You weren't born when Revenge of the Sith
Oh,
came out.
so I was 4.
You were
I wasn't even in
you were
kindergarten.
like, it was 2005. It was May of 2005. You were just turning 4.
Wow.
Yeah, Mom was pregnant with you. So yeah. Anyway, and then Roberto, he was 5 years old when The Phantom Menace came out.
Well, you are turning 44.
I
in
feel
just a
so
month.
old. Guys, will you bring a walker for me to Celebration? Because I'm going to apparently need that. Maybe a wheelchair. I'll be 44 years old at Celebration. I'll be 44 in a month.
And
But by the time you listen to this, it'll be
and
March.
that's less than 100 days.
20
Less-
days. 23 days. So anyway. Yeah. Okay, let me finish reading this. I saw the 3D version when it came out in theaters. Unfortunately, Star Wars wasn't a thing for me until 2006, so I missed Return of the Sith as well, which I'd love to see on the big screen. Well, you never know. All right, they haven't announced this yet, but when we were at Star Wars Celebration in 2017 in Orlando, they showed A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi in this big theater in the evenings, or this big room in the evenings with everybody with their lightsabers, and it was a big fun thing. With it being the 20th anniversary of the Phantom Menace, I would logically think they would go Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith. So maybe you'll have that chance.
And also some like theaters for episode 9 might marathon.
Nice.
Oh, that's true.
That would be the most intense. Like,
That would be amazing.
I don't know if I could do it.
I could
No,
do it.
because it's not the most intense. AMC.
Well, yeah, the
did-
Marvel ones. Yeah, we could.
No, AMC did all of the best pictures shown in one day.
Oh, yeah, that's
17
crazy.
hours.
Yeah, anyway,
Oh,
yeah. So,
yeah.
what about you? You gonna go with this next one there?
Yeah, so this is from Daniel T. Foster at
Weird one.
One.
WEERD1.
Yeah.
Follow all these amazing people on Twitter.
Right. I like his profile picture because I'm
Right.
pretty sure I had that helmet.
It's a clone helmet, right?
Yeah,
Like the
Captain
kids' clone
Rex.
helmet. Captain
Yeah.
Rex.
I think I had that thing.
Yeah,
Anyway.
when you were like 4.
He said, no, I was there for Star Wars, but it was my son's first Star Wars film in a theater and my daughter's first movie in a theater, period. So I think he's saying he's there for A New Hope. That's what he was meaning.
Yes.
Yeah, I was there for Star Wars. Yeah, A New Hope. And that was a big thread that was on that. People were like, we don't call it A New Hope. We call it Star Wars. I get it, but guys, come on. Can we just chill a little bit about that kind of stuff? Because it's really not important. Anyway, you can call it whatever you want. It's okay.
But
But it was his son's first Star Wars film in a theater and his daughter's first movie ever in a theater. So I think that's
cool.
awesome. BB-8, do you know what your first movie experience was? Do you remember?
Movie experience.
Wow.
Theater experience?
No,
You don't?
no.
I don't know if this was his first one or not, but I remember going to see the Clone Wars movie and you dressed up as a clone. You got a costume and you had the helmet that you're talking about. He was wearing that.
Oh,
And he
yeah.
was wearing a Clone Wars Captain Rex. And we didn't obviously even know any of these characters.
It was just a cool costume.
But we went to see that in the theater when it came out. But that was like 2007, 2008. So I think you'd probably been to a movie before that.
Probably.
Yeah. So anyway,
Probably
cool.
close.
All right.
Our
I guess
first Star Wars movie though was in theater was
Yeah.
The Force
The Force Awakens. Yeah, for you guys.
The start of the sequel trilogy.
The
It's
start of the
interesting.
sequels. It really was the start of this. The fact that they were coming out with the sequel trilogy and the trailers for it and all that kind of stuff that sort of reintroduced you guys to Star Wars and got you back into it. That's when we started watching Rebels. That's when we had to go back and watch Clone Wars because of Darth Maul.
I remember the night the trailer came out. It also came out with the tickets. We watched the trailer. Nate and I were freaking out about it. We were
The Force Awakens?
Yeah, Force Awakens. Yeah. We were like freaking out, loving it. You guys were on the website trying to get tickets, and the theater's website
We're
crashed.
crashing the whole time for like 45 minutes.
So Mom and I ran down to the movie theater.
Yeah, I'll read you guys did.
Okay, we ran down to the theater, bought the tickets, and at the time we got these like exclusive 3D glasses, which we still have. And every time we watch Star Wars, we watch them with
That's
those.
a 3D.
Any 3D movie like that.
3D movies. Yeah, that's cool.
So it was fun.
Yeah, and then of course, I'm thinking about you guys going to Alabama for spring break. The Chewie We're Home trailer that premiered at Star Wars Celebration in 2015. The one where we first see Han Solo.
Oh yeah, I was gonna talk about it.
You guys were in Alabama on spring break when that happened.
Really?
We were moving back into our house here in Colorado Springs after having been on the road for a year, which is a whole other story that I don't know if we've ever told out here before.
Cool.
But anyway, we were on the road with that with Promise Keepers for a year, and then we came back home and moved back into the house while you guys were in Alabama. And I remember we were trying to get the washing machine fixed when that trailer premiered, and I was watching it on my phone. I texted to you guys and had you guys watch it with me, like at the same time, and you guys were freaking out. It was pretty amazing.
It was fun.
Yeah, so that's cool. Awesome. Yeah, let's see what's going on. I think JG, I think you're it, buddy.
Hi,
Nope,
Grammy.
Grammy's on.
Where's Grammy?
Judy.
Judy! Hi! Hi, Grammy. How you doing, Grammy? Good to see you. JG was 8 when what? The Phantom Menace
He
came out?
was 12.
No, when Sith came out.
Oh.
So it must have been like 4 or 5 or 6 or something. I don't know.
Jeez.
8. That's probably right. 8, yeah. So 5? 5? Might not be able to finish this episode. I'm feeling like I may need to go take a nap or something. I'm feeling it's really old right now.
And the dog in your lap will just
Yeah.
sleeping.
All right, are we guys ready? Are you ready for your thing? Get off there. Get off there.
Hold on,
We're getting ready.
Mom messaged me.
Mom messaged you.
Mom messaged me.
Excuse us. Mom's interrupting. But
Wait, Nate, do you want these?
What?
what are those?
They're gaming chairs. They just lay on the floor. They're like those rocking things.
Sure.
Okay, we're good.
All right, Sam, you got to be ready to read your thing. You know what you're doing?
right.
You're next.
I gotta quickly scan out of this though, otherwise it's gonna sound really incoherent.
Yeah, still a youngling, but compared to
Still a youngling, but compared to Nate and Sam, I feel old. Buddy, you're going to feel older later on, so don't worry about that. So, very cool. All right, you know what you're doing there? Bud?
Yes.
All right, it's a long synopsis, but it was the one I could find. So, all right, you ready? I'm going to start this thing.
What is linchpin?
Linchpin?
Yeah.
What's the context?
Something about Muncie.
Who? Aunt Z goes missing. Where's that?
Linchpin. It's on like the far left side, about the middle. You just like right there.
Colossus Barky. She's like holding everything together. She holds like the group together.
See, I'm learning things.
Yeah, vocabulary lesson. Aren't you guys excited? Okay. All right, here we go. All right, let's do this. Aunt Z becoming my favorite secondary character. Aunt Z is pretty cool. Although she reminds me, I'm a Music Man fan. We watch the Music Man musical every year on the movie on the 4th of July. She reminds me of Widow Peru when she talks.
I don't know. I like Opie Pit.
Opie Pit.
He wasn't in last.
He wasn't.
He's sad.
No,
All right, anyway.
they gotta bring him back. They have to have a whole episode going around him.
All
Opie
right,
Pit.
all
I
right.
like it.
Let's do this. Okay. I'm gonna get ready to start this thing because it's already like 8:30. It's 8 o'clock. So you're gonna read that, then we're gonna play the bumper. Are you ready?
Ready.
All right, I'm gonna mute me and Nate so we don't have to be heard.
All right, so Kaz and Tora have gotten themselves into a lot of trouble as they search for some friends who have disappeared off the Colossus. Will Kaz be able to talk his way out of this one? It's time for Star Wars Resistance Recap.
Light it up. I can do that. Oh, sorry, I'm live. Go.
We were
You're-
unmuted.
I wasn't muted. Okay, go. Light it up. Sorry.
All right, so the synopsis goes. Spoiler alert, by the way.
Spoiler. Hold on. I got to use spoiler. All right, go.
All right. The episode begins with a race as the Aces are finally flying again, which was nice. I'm just,
Oh yeah, it was like awesome for like
refreshing to
all
see
4
that.
seconds.
right.
I was like so relieved.
But it quickly becomes clear that Commander Pyre and the First Order want the races and all other non-First Order flying around the place to stop. On a station known for its superstar pilots and nail-biting races, the news that races are canceled indefinitely was unwelcome. Adding to that, the Aces could no longer protect the station themselves. The pilots are livid, hype phase on most of all. And then hype. I'm sorry, I zoned out there for a second. I was trying to read ahead, and anyway,
Okay, keep
I'll just
going.
restart.
That's okay.
The pilots are livid, hype phase on most of all, and then hype disappears.
I'm just
You
doing
can't
sound effects.
You
like
can't
all
keep
crazy.
doing that. It throws me off.
I know. I'm trying to see what I can do. Go.
Turns out he isn't the only one who has disappeared. Other residents on the Colossus have gone missing. When asked by Tam, the stormtroopers say that the missing have gotten permission to leave the station, but Tam seems to be the only one who believes it.
Hold on. I'm just gonna do some sound effects this whole time. Just mess you up. Go. Keep going. Why are you holding on?
I'm waiting for you to stop talking.
I'm waiting for you to start talking.
When Colossus, Barkeep, and Lynchpin on Z goes missing.
Misty?
Misty.
If it was a really hot day, that'd be nice. You know those misters like in
Oh,
the
yeah.
amusement parks? Sorry. That's
Anyway,
not the same thing, is it?
goes missing after she denies the First Order permission to put recruiting advertisements in her bar. Kaz and Tora know they have to do something. For once, Yeager and Captain Doza don't stop Kaz's escapade, though they notably don't help him either. Kaz and Tora take out the prisoner transport meant to transport the missing Colossus denizens?
Denizens, yeah. Like
I don't think they say
Residents.
citizens.
citizens.
Whatever.
Why? Because they're trying to help you learn some new words.
Thank you. And help Aunt Z and the others escape the station, but things get much, much worse. Kaz returns to find Yeager's whole team being arrested by Commander Pyre.
And we're gonna. I'm trying to source this amazing bit of prose. Who was that from?
Bleedingcool.com.
Bleedingcool.com wrote
That's
that,
pretty cool.
and so we stole their synopsis. Because
You know, you could
You're
really
lazy.
pull off an old Luke Skywalker.
what?
Look over to that. If you grew out your hair for April,
My hair's not gonna grow that fast for April. I was just gonna be honest with
just
you. Okay.
don't cut it or anything.
All right. So anyway,
Anyway,
yes.
what do you think, Doug? What was your favorite part of this episode? Or what was
The
something you
end,
liked?
and I'm not trying to be snarky with that.
Yeah, my favorite
Yeah.
part was when it was over.
There's sometimes people ask me what my favorite part in a certain movie was, and they say things like the credits, and I'm like being like, it's over, and thank God it was over.
Like what?
Well, I'm not going to say that because I don't want to offend any of our listeners.
Oh no, you wouldn't offend me.
There's just been a couple movies that have been very like big tentpole superhero movies that have I walked out of the theater going, what in the world was that? But
Right.
anyway, I'm not going to don't.
No. They kind of left you thirsty afterward.
Oh no, that Aquaman wasn't bad. It was all right. Anyway,
Whatever.
anyway, I
That
don't
joke
want
did
to
not
do
work.
this. So,
Anyway,
the ending, you know, I mean, they walk up and Yeager and Doza are trying to save them, and you've got this the First Order and Pyre, and it's like, oh yeah, this is for real now. I mean, Kaz has been outed as a spy. He's working with the Resistance. Everybody on the Colossus knows. The First Order knows. That's my favorite part. It's like, yeah, now we're moving forward in the storyline. It's for real. No more
Disney Channel.
Disney Channel. We're gonna get to some Star Wars.
Some Disney X.
And I like the series, but this is what I've been waiting for.
Yeah.
This is what Steven Stanton told us was going to come. It's finally here, and we've got 3 episodes left. So,
What about you, Nate?
I really enjoyed this episode all around. I thought it was really interesting. Tam. Now we gotta talk about that. She's starting to. I don't know. I feel like she's starting to not like the First Order more.
no, I think she's still completely like hook, line, and sinker swallowing their line. Yeah, I'm serious. I think that
I agree.
I think that she's
Yeah.
totally
She's
bought
totally-
in.
Yeah.
She thinks that they're the good guys, and she's opposed to anybody that's against them. And I think that it was just solidified in this episode. I'm
So
nervous
weird to
about it.
think that she could be she'd be fine with that. Like she does realize they're stormtroopers, right? Does she know what stormtroopers did? Like
Yeah, but it's what we talked about before.
I
This
know.
idea,
You could
those
just
that
watch the
don't.
animated series of Rebels. Like,
come on.
Yeah,
We got
come
all this-
on.
this
Just go back and watch
space-
Kanan and Rebels and all that, right? Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Okay. So yeah, no, I
Yeah,
mean
no, I know what you
it's
mean.
30 years after the Empire, and
And-
the Empire were the it'd be almost like I don't even want to go down the political route because if you try to talk about politics with it, it gets misinterpreted if you use it as an example. So
Right.
I just it's a situation where there are people going all the way back to the original trilogy, in this galaxy that look at the Empire as being a good political organization, and all the stuff, and I've checked out a little bit of the Legends of Luke Skywalker, and there's this idea that the rebels were actually really terrorists. They're the bad guys.
oh, so you
When
didn't
you think about their
Yeah.
tactics, they were
Right.
especially Saw Gerrera.
Exactly, and so all the stuff that the rebellion or the New Republic has said about the Empire is a bunch of lies, and the first, the galaxy is spiraling into chaos, and the First Order's there to restore order, and we need that, and so that's sort of the position that Tam has fallen into in this, and I, for one, am really glad and excited about the fact that they've got that kind of a character in this show.
Yeah.
Because it allows us to take the First Order threat more seriously. It makes us understand how the First Order could rise from the ashes of the Empire. I like that idea. It's one of the reasons I like the Bloodlines novel.
I agree.
So anyway.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. I remember like a little bit of the beginning and then the end. I just remember they were sneaking around a lot, but I know I really enjoyed the episode. I really enjoyed. It was crazy how Aunt Z just stood up to those stormtroopers. No, did not
never
care.
hesitate.
No.
But that's because Aunt Z was around during the Galactic Empire.
Right.
She experienced the Galactic Empire. So it's not these, let's just be honest. In today's world, there's this neo-Nazi movement in Europe and in the United States. This idea of the Nazis, all the things that you've heard that were negative about them were lies. The Holocaust isn't true, which is all a bunch of garbage. But there's this movement, and it usually attracts young people that weren't around during World War II and don't understand the reality of what
And
happened.
they weren't taught what happened.
And they weren't taught, and they've been given lies, and they don't know any better.
Right.
But people that experienced World War II know what the Nazis were. They'll never support it.
Right.
And so it's the same thing with the Galactic Empire stuff. So,
Interesting.
yeah.
Interesting.
Anyway,
Life imitates art. What was
it was the other way around. Art imitates life.
No, I thought it was life imitates art.
No, art is imitating life in this case. It's not life entertainment.
Oh well, then whatever.
Yeah, I've heard it both ways. Okay.
Yeah.
Pineapple. All right.
And what did you not like anything in this episode, Dan?
There was no what is his name?
Obi Pitt.
Obi Pitt. There's no Obi Pitt.
That's pretty much the only gripe I'd have for this episode.
Yeah.
It was good.
It was good.
Yeah, I mean,
Am I allowed to say this?
No,
yeah,
Am I going to make a lot of people mad at me right now?
probably.
I'm not a fan of Hype Face Off.
What about him?
I don't really care for his character. I think it's way too much hype. It's like so over the top. It's hard for me to take him seriously.
that's
the
his
idea.
Point. That's the point.
His name is Hype.
I get it.
That's the idea, Dan.
I get it. I'm just saying. Yes.
And it's a kids show, so all the characters have to be
Hype, yeah. I mean, it's just,
right. It's supposed to be really exaggerated so the kids can understand what's going on.
Well,
They can't pick up on subtleties.
if that's what they're going for, that's what they're getting.
Right.
So, okay. Anyway, yeah.
I like hype.
Good. I'm allowed to know.
We should get Donald face on.
But Donald, if you want to come on the podcast,
Yeah, after
you'd be
that.
my favorite character. Yeah, we can pretty much shoot that one out.
Was there so Nate? There's not actually anything
No.
you dislike. Yeah, I agree. I thought
Yeah,
it
it's
was
hard
good.
to think of anything really.
Yeah, I mean the episodes have just consistently
You
been
don't
getting
have
better.
to deal with hype anymore.
No, he's gone. Oh, that was cool. He's going
Oh.
to Takadana.
We didn't even talk about that.
Odyssey and
That
that
little
one
dude.
dude who was like.
So was there what's the species? Rhodian. Was there any Rhodians
we didn't
in Takadana in
check
Maz's
that.
palace in Force Awakens?
I don't remember.
Because if there was, oh my goodness, is that hype?
Goodness.
Oh my
goodness. Oh my goodness.
All right, anyway.
All right, and then the next week's episode is Descent. That's the title, right?
Yeah, decent. Yeah, good
And-
reading.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Yeah. I'm a very good reader.
I'm an excellent reader.
Oh, goodness.
All right. And the description goes: after the First Order discovered the Fireball was the ship that crossed into their territory, Yeager's crew must evade troopers hunting them down. After realizing that Kaz and Yeager have been lying to her, Tam decides to stay with the troopers, convinced her own innocence will save her from the wrath of the First Order. Oh, I didn't know this. That's interesting.
It's complicated. Which is the name of the clip we should play. So we're listening to the clip, by the way. I'm sorry about that.
That's right. We're gonna remember they can't hear that.
So have you seen the clip?
I've not, so that would probably make a lot more sense.
Yeah,
than
it would.
should.
So basically,
there wasn't a
we
lot
pick-
of dialogue there.
Yeah, it picks up immediately following the end of the last
Okay,
episode.
yeah, I figured.
So
I
they're
got
in
that.
there, and there's this moment, and they turn on. I don't think my mic's working right now, so give me a second.
We're gonna stop that hold.
Check 1, 2. See, yeah, my mic's not working. All right, yeah,
So what's-
we're gonna start. We're gonna start right where we left off. So you watch it on YouTube live. Don't stress. We can edit this and make it work.
What do we think about Galaxy Edge?
We're gonna
That's
talk about
our
that.
main
We're gonna talk
topic.
about it. It's our main topic
So
tonight.
just wait till the end.
There we
and
go.
we will talk about it. Trust
All
me.
right, good. Looks like we're
Promise.
Check
What if
1, 2.
the
Check, check,
union
check,
dispute is
check. Check.
9? Is Maz helping Cass? Why am I? Oh, that union dispute. Ooh.
What did he say?
JG Carr said, "What if the union dispute in episode 8
It's the Last Jedi. Yeah,
is Maz helping Kaz and the crew?"
that would be amazing.
I could see
Okay,
it.
we're gonna start. We're gonna pick up right where we left off. What was I saying before I got distracted?
Say my mic.
Oh yeah, so yeah, before that. Okay, so basically what happens is he picks up right where it left off, the last episode, and they, are trying to talk their way out of it. Kaz is in the clip, and then it doesn't work out. They end up Bucket sprays a bunch of mist or smoke into the air to
A
create
fire
a smoke
extinguisher.
screen,
Yeah.
and then they attack the First Order. And
Okay, I gotta say this. I've been thinking about this for a while, and okay, so what if this? They've never followed up right after an episode. They've never.
Yeah, and well,
they've
they've
never
never really
picked up
left us on a
like this.
cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Though.
that's true. This is
I
the first
think
real
that this is going to
cliffhanger.
be the episode where Kaz and Tora run out and they're sneaking around with the First Order, and then they find a hologram, General Hux, announcing that he's going to destroy
Maybe.
Hosnian Prime.
I mean, the
timing is there.
The
talking about
timing
it.
is perfect.
Yeah, because
It's about at least a week.
Poe and BB-8 had already gone to Jakku. It could have been within a couple of days. Because because from the episode, so the episode, the core dilemma
Yes.
ends.
Core problem.
Is it the core problem or the core dilemma?
core problem.
Core problem. Sorry.
Whatever. We know
The core problem. They end up. Poe and BB-8 go to Jakku, and then it picks up in this episode we just watched, that disappeared. It has to have had to have elapsed because they're doing races and
Yeah, it's all just kind of functioning normally except for the.
so I mean it's not like it happened. I don't think it's like the next morning they start running races.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so I think it's been a few days. If that's the case, then it's very possible that the next episode is the episode where we see Hux's famous speech from Starkiller
Because if you
Base.
think about it, Bucket could knock those stormtroopers down, and Kaz runs and brings Torah, and then they're sneaking around trying to get away from the First Order, and they hide behind a crate. You see it in the mid-season trailer.
Right.
They're both behind a crate.
And it was at
seeing the
nighttime.
And it was at
So-
nighttime.
What do you think about the Tam thing, though? Because Tam sticks around.
geez.
We know she's going to stay with the First Order after this confrontation at the beginning of the next
Yeager
episode. And
and-
Yeager and the rest of them are going to be evading the First Order while she stays with them.
And she's gonna stay with them and get captured, and then she's gonna be
No,
like,
I
I don't
don't-
like the First Order
I don't-
anymore, and then she's gonna help Kaz, and they're gonna be the new resistance and go to.
But why do you
Batuu.
think they're capturing her? She's been loyal.
She's
to the First
only
Order?
she's the only person left, and this is why she'll now figure out. Okay, the First Order's not right because she's probably thinking the same thing like you were. She didn't do anything wrong. She was just there. She was just part of the group.
Right. She didn't know.
Yes,
Like,
But
she
it's the
is
first-
innocent.
it's the First Order, and that's what's going to teach her. They arrest innocent people for doing nothing.
Well, I think that they're going to use her for leverage to try to get
Maybe.
Yeager and Kaz to turn themselves in.
Probably.
And so that's what, and that's what's going to turn her to the resistance, as she's going to see how evil the First Order really is. It should be interesting.
Yeah.
I can't wait
This
for-
is gonna be a good.
You guys will
episode.
be in Alabama. I guess you're gonna have to watch it on a computer or something like that.
We'll have to get our login information.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But I'll watch
So
it.
there's only like 3 episodes left, right?
I know we got this one and then a 2-part finale.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That went by fast.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. You miss some waters. It's easier for you to get
I don't even know. I'm good.
I do.
Why did you do that?
because I want water. I'm too old. I might hurt my hip or something.
What?
Speaking of hips, it still hurts from falling down in the snow on Saturday when I was shoveling. I hurt my hip. I have to have a hip replacement. So, what are you doing?
Who's Max?
Who?
JG said because it would make a lot of sense.
Maz Canada.
Oh, he said Max.
No, it says Maz. Oh, Max in the next one. It just autocorrected.
Oh, yeah,
He's
that
at-
makes more sense now.
He's at work. So he's on his phone. Because it would make a lot of sense. What if Maz was talking to those people like Aunt Z before Han comes in?
Interesting.
Han Solo!
Everything just stops.
Hey, Maz!
Hey, Maz.
Where's Chewie?
Where's my boyfriend?
Oh, where's my boyfriend? I like that movie.
I love that.
Oh,
Good
goodness.
movie. Good movie.
Hurry up and get the water, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Come on. We got a podcast to record. And then after the attack, she leaves to go help Kaz. I
Yeah,
think it
so
makes
you-
perfect sense.
Mom's going to bed.
Bye. Good night. Love you. I'll see you in a
Night,
little
Mom.
bit. Man, this new.
What is almost 8:30?
I know it's late. Well, when you get up as early as we get up. So. What?
Your face. I got me one too, but I just wanted you to have one.
Oh, but I don't get one?
Well, I don't know what flavor it is.
I don't care who you are. You're never going to change my mind that the best flavor of Starburst candies is lemon.
It's true. I'm right there with you.
You like your favorite?
I love
candy?
lemon.
What's your favorite?
Lemon.
Aww,
Aw,
Nate's a
just
good
do
little
quick.
brother. Just hurry up, dude. All right.
Love you.
It's a birth of flavor.
Birth? I heard
Birth
birth of flavor.
of
You should
flavor.
probably not. put that
Did
on.
you see Starburst's new ad on
No.
Facebook?
No.
Where like they're getting the red one, and it's like it's so juicy that Moses could part it. And
What?
it's considered a C.
Although though you gotta they are
They
pretty
are
juicy
You're
though.
right, JG. Strawberry and yellow combined are amazing.
I've never tried.
Really?
Like wait, pink and
Yeah.
yellow? I gotta try those together.
I need to.
All right, it's like strawberry lemonade in your mouth.
Whoa.
Yep. All right.
But how are they, Joseph?
Can we continue on and
Was that English? I'm not sure.
I had too much Starburst.
They are juicy. How do you do that?
I was trying to go jet.
Oh, right.
They shoot the burst of flavor right in your mouth.
You shoot it right into the candy. Why did you put it in there?
But it's also been so fast you can't see it.
It's actually
All right,
it's
we're gonna.
actually like an
All right,
X-wing.
let's go.
That jumps into
All right, I'm ready to hit start. Our first look at the fall of the Jedi Order will take place at Celebration in April. It's not really a surprise, but the Star Wars theme has been voted the best tune of all time.
Really?
And Topher Grace should be put in charge of every Star Wars trailer from here to eternity. It's time for hot takes. Where's my notes? You don't know who Topher Grace is?
He made.
He's the pastor in that new movie where the kid falls through the ice and they sing Oceans and he should be walking on water. So anyway, yeah. Yeah. So Star Wars Fallen or Jedi. Let me start.
Wow.
Star Wars Jedi Fallen.
Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order game unveils set for Star Wars Celebration. This is from Variety.com. Star Wars
Oh, so it's
Jedi
reputable.
Fallen Order, Respawn Entertainment's long-awaited action-adventure game, will be revealed in Chicago during Star Wars Celebration in April, according to the StarWars.com website. A special panel on April 13th, which JG can confirm on the live YouTube right now, because he's putting together the schedule for everybody, will give would-be players a first look at the EA published game that centers around a Padawan who survived Order 66 and explores the galaxy in the time after the fall of the Jedi Order. The discussion will feature never-before-released details ahead of the game's fall 2019 release, according to the site. Other video games that will make an appearance at the annual Star Wars event include Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, Star Wars Pinball, and there will be a special event for Star Wars The Old Republic. BB Nate.
You think Benioff and Wise are gonna?
This is like my section. I
This
learned
is it.
all thing about it.
Go for it. Tell us what you think.
Fallen Order. Now, they're like never before released details, but I hope it's about Caleb.
Caleb
Oh.
Doom. You wanted to be Caleb?
I
It
do,
might be too predictable though because they've already
but
explored
it's
that
in a
stuff.
comic that they only had 6 or 7 issues for.
That's a lot.
That 6 or 7 issues is considered a mini series,
Right.
and it wasn't a popular series.
How long of a time period did it cover?
It covered like maybe
Anybody know on YouTube? You're allowed to tell us.
like probably 6 or 7 months at the most.
He's in his 30s by the time we get to Star Wars Rebels. So
It covered it covered, at least from what I read, when he was a kid, literally falling. They show Order 66 happening.
right. So you could start the storyline off with some of that stuff, and then move forward where he's doing. I would think it would be a great idea. I think Ahsoka Tano would be great as well.
And Respawn is having their hands full.
Why
Because
is
yes,
it?
there was an EA, but they made Apex and Titanfall.
Wow.
So they've got a lot.
They have a lot
They
of
do
stuff.
good games too.
Yeah, I don't
As
know
to
anything
the-
about these games.
Yeah, no, they're pretty big. They've made some pretty big. hit
They're making
games.
a third Titanfall from EA, which
Wow.
is a very big
Cool.
series.
As for the Caleb Dune thing, I want to see a new character. I want to see a fresh character. Well, yeah, I'd like to play his story. I want a new guy. I want to follow a brand new Padawan. That way, it feels like you're less reliving the story and more experiencing it with the character at the time.
Now the challenge that you have with that is you get to the original trilogy and you still have the
Oh, I've
problem
thought
with
about that.
that there's no Jedi.
I know.
Caleb Doom, Kanan Jarrus had to die in Rebels because they couldn't have him around.
But what about
Ezra. Ezra had to be sucked off into the unknown regions at
What
the end of
about
that.
Ahsoka?
Ahsoka's not a Jedi.
And
I'm no Jedi, she said.
And we've seen her.
And she was in hiding during that period of
I
time.
don't know that this
Amazing
amazing Padawan couldn't follow any.
Well, I mean, I get it, but you keep adding Jedi to it, and it takes the weight of the original trilogy. The idea of he is our last hope. No, there's another, meaning his sister. All that stuff. You take all that, the weight of that out. If there's these Jedi floating around all over the place, and we just, we want to make a game, so let's throw another Jedi and make a new canon Jedi. That's my opinion. Plus, I like Kanan Jarrus.
And Ahsoka.
And Ahsoka. Is a good one. Okay. So are we done with that topic, or you have something else?
And the Old Republic.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, what do you think about that? Old
Republic.
Republic game, Knights of the Old Republic. What are you thinking?
And since we're
You think Benioff and Wise are gonna do that?
I don't think that's going to have anything. It's a game panel. It's not a movie panel. It's a game panel.
a game panel they're announced.
Well, anyway, I still think it's cool. I like
But
it.
speaking of panels, somebody was like, "Is it too much to ask for the Phantom Menace 20th anniversary panel for it to either open up or something?" Weird Al to the saga begins.
Yes,
Well, I would be.
I want that. Nobody else would, but I want it.
No, this was an idea.
No, I think it would be huge. I think people would be singing it
I would
in
love
the
it.
audience. Can you imagine like 20,000 Star Wars fans all throughout the McCormick place singing "Bye,
My mind,
Mr. Anakin guy"? Yeah, I think it would be awesome.
That would be awesome. I want it now. Let's start a petition.
Swinging their lightsabers around. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'm all
That
for
would be
it.
a lot of fun.
Hey,
Actually.
JG, make this happen for us. I don't know if
Right?
you don't have
Come on,
any
get on this.
cloud at all. I know you're just collecting data and putting it in a spreadsheet, basically.
But you
you
can
Figure it out.
Talk to somebody. Make it happen. All right.
Pull
Star
some
Wars.
strings.
Speaking of music and Star Wars theme tune voted the best of all time. And I'm going to give a shout out right now to the source of this article, express.co.uk.
Oh gosh.
So why did you?
But here's the best
Uh,
part. It's actually a fact-based article. And
What?
so I want to commend them for writing an article that actually was based on fact. It's awesome.
How can you believe that?
I can't. I researched it enough to know. So
Wow.
yeah, The Force was with John Williams' 1977 composition, and it won more than 20% of the votes in a poll carried out by Radio Times and BBC Music Magazine. Controversially, the James Bond theme, composed by Monty Norman and aired in 1962's Dr. No, finished only in the 11th place. Elmer Bernstein's theme to the POW epic The Great Escape came in 17th, while Henry Mancini's Pink Panther theme was 19th in the poll of more than 2,000 readers. U.S. composer Williams, 87 years old, took 6 spots in the top 10.
Wow.
With Hedwig's theme from the 2001 Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone movie making the 3rd spot, and the theme from Jurassic Park making the 4th. What do you guys think of it? You're a big movie, music,
Oh,
love that kind of stuff. You think John Williams is awesome.
he's like, I mean,
the greatest composer of our era.
absolutely.
And,
Like
and
the
on
Beethoven.
par with Beethoven, Mozart.
Which
Bach.
could sound controversial, but
It's not.
we don't make symphonies anymore. We make movie themes, and his movie themes are on par with Beethoven's symphonies and things like that. I mean, it's amazing. So no surprise that he's up there with that.
He's amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
they're talking about the main theme, like with the top
yeah.
that one. I wouldn't have. I mean, I like it. It's probably one of the most recognizable tunes ever. But I don't know if I would have picked that as his.
Well,
best.
if you were to pick a different one, what would you have picked?
Force theme.
It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I get chills every time
I
I
know. I think about it, and now when I think of, for decades, the Force theme has always been the moment when Luke comes out in Tatooine and he's staring into the suns at the sunset, and he's looking off into the horizon, that kind of thing. That's always what I think of with the Force
And
theme.
every
that's-
time
Until the Solo movie. And now when Han and Chewie see the Falcon for the first time and that theme starts to swell, that's
every time you talk about Luke
Oh.
sitting on Tatooine, I think of the Phineas and Ferb special when the dad is like, "Oh, you should be standing out and staring into the two suns."
Oh, jeez.
That was actually really fun.
It is. It's an awesome special, by
And-
the way.
At the beginning, like there's a title call, and they're like, "Don't worry, fanboys, none of this is official." Like,
Yeah, it's not canon.
So don't worry.
Right.
Just relax.
That was a lot of fun.
What did you think about the John Williams thing?
Oh, it was great. So he had 6 spots.
It's 6 in the top 10 according to this poll.
That is nuts. That means there's only 4 other people in the top 10.
Yeah, and they were mentioned. The James Bond theme,
Yeah.
The Great Escape,
I
and the
don't
Pink
remember
Panther theme. Okay, so they mentioned 3 of them.
I don't remember the Great Escape theme.
Yeah, I'm sure if you heard it, you'd recognize.
And then Pink Panther theme, yeah, oh, yeah.
I wonder what his 3 other ones.
It's the Great Escape is da 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 da
Oh.
da 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 da.
Have
We've
we seen it?
You've seen that movie,
Oh,
and then
when
the
they
Pink
like
Panther.
crawl into the tunnel.
You guys know the
with
Pink. Yeah.
Oh, I know the
Pink
Pink
Panther. Yeah, and then Dark. I can't for some reason the Bond theme is eluding me.
You like have the guitar, I think.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Oh.
Da dun 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 dun.
Should I get it going on my
But-
phone?
Nah. I
What
don't
were
know.
his 3
Yeah, I'll
other
do it.
ones? 'Cause
I don't know. I don't remember the list.
I think
We don't have time for it, so
No, I
probably be Jaws.
yeah. No, we gotta move on. All right, we're gonna move on. Like, we're gonna be like that website. We're gonna move on.org.
What?
I don't know. So anyway, all right. Topher Grace. You guys know who Topher Grace is, right?
No.
Topher Grace. He played Eddie Brock in the Jesus Told Me to Leave the movie theater Spider-Man.
Oh.
That's a story.
Let's tell it.
Oh no. Not
So
right
Sam
now.
was what, 4
No,
or 5 years
Just
old?
leave it for our
It's okay.
YouTube.
Okay, we'll tell. Okay, that's right. We'll save this for you guys watching on YouTube after this segment's over. So remind us. in the comments.
Exclusives.
Yeah,
And
you
then
guys
these
will-
people that are listening to this will be like,
Oh wait, we should have been watching it on YouTube.
No,
You're right.
like,
The only reason, the only way you know whether or not we're actually recording or doing the live is for you to subscribe and turn on the
Right here.
notifications, and
Right
then you won't
here.
miss it next time.
Right.
But we're not telling this story on the podcast. We're telling it on YouTube live after the podcast in a second. All right. Topher Grace's Star Wars Always Supercut. Did you see this thing?
I have not.
Oh, I sent it to you.
I know. I was a little
Oh my gosh, Samuel.
The
You
one
know, I have,
problem is we were
like,
driving.
responsibilities.
He was driving, and then we were at church, and then we didn't have time.
You know, I got a life.
So anyway, Topher Grace's Star Wars Always Supercut blends footage of the best known films to suggest a radical vision for the saga. So imagine if all the Star Wars movies had been produced by a single creative mind across 20 years or so, as opposed to being developed over roughly half a century as a mixed bag of movies, courtesy of wildly varying creative forces. The result, shrunk down into miniature, might have looked something like a new Star Wars Always trailer posted this week by actor and superfan Topher Grace, which blends footage from 10 of the best-known films into a remarkable, seamless 5-minute cut. It's absolutely amazing. What do you well, you saw it, maybe, Nate.
I could not.
You did? I thought you watched it. I thought you said you watched it.
I think I did.
You guys suck.
I thought I did.
You said when I replied and sent it to you, you saw it was amazing.
Oh, I did. Yes, it was amazing. It's like chilling. And he's an actor, and I wouldn't think of him like that. He seems like
He's a movie guy.
yes, and he has probably too much.
He's good at this. This is amazing. I encourage you to check it out. Maybe Sam will do it sometime.
Sometime.
All right, that was anticlimactic.
Well, what was I supposed to do?
All right. Well, watch it. It's awesome. Star Wars Always. Check it out. You'll be chilled. All right, so here's the story, guys. So Topher Grace, Eddie Brock, he played Venom in the original Star Wars 3 version of Venom. Spider-Man scene. So Sam's like 5 when this movie comes out. So some of you are feeling like you're old now, kind of like I did earlier. He was 5 years old, and we'd seen the trailers. He was a big Spider-Man fan, just like BB Nate's a big Spider-Man fan.
Spider-Man's awesome.
And we saw the trailers and the Venom stuff, and we were a little concerned with whether or not this movie was a little too intense for Sam. But he's a negotiator,
Mm-hmm.
and he was convinced he could handle it. And he wanted to go see it in IMAX. which is
Wow, that
loud
was so
and
stupid.
intense, right? So we got in line. This was before reserve ticketing and any of that stuff. First showing on Saturday morning at IMAX, and we get in line, and we're waiting for like an hour and a half in this line. Sam wears his Spider-Man costume.
Oh, I remember that.
Dude, I had that Spider-Man
Yeah, the
costume.
muscles. You could turn it inside out. So
Yeah, it
it'd
would
be
be
like
Venom
regular one.
or
Yeah, that was a cool
Yeah,
suit. I
it was
remember that. Maybe
so you were wearing it, and people thought you were really cool and cute. They were coming up and they were like, "Are you scared?" "No, I'm not scared," and all this other stuff. They went on. So Sam is very auditory. He's always his
Yeah.
ears.
That's why I like the music
sound
and stuff.
why music is the way that it is and stuff like that. So we're sitting there in the theater, and he's doing great throughout the movie until the scene where Peter is trying to get the symbiote suit off of him by going into the church bell tower and ringing the bells, and it comes off. The sound is causing it to come off. It's super loud. We're sitting in the very back row of the IMAX theater, which is like the best seat in IMAX. by the
It
way.
is.
Yeah, actually.
The very back row, and the bells are ringing, and it comes off, and it falls down onto Eddie Brock, Topher Grace in this case, and it turns into the bad Venom, not just black suit, symbiote Spider-Man, but
Yeah, there's all those screeching.
it's
from the thing.
screechy, it's loud. Sam's 5 years old. He turns to me. I kid you not. He grabs my shirt, gets this far from my face, and starts screaming the words, "Jesus just told me I have to leave!" He starts screaming. We had to leave. It was like 6 weeks before I got to go see the end of this movie with my father-in-law because Sam wouldn't go see it with me. Jesus told me I had to leave.
And I never really was able to see that in its full capability. I never had seen the Spider-Man 3 that scene.
Really?
And I've seen it, but it was always interrupted by something. And at that exact scene, for some reason, I remember we were down at the Michael Rood event,
Oh, Lord help us.
Let's not.
and it was
not
my
reference
first
that.
time, and we had my own room, and I was looking for something on TV because it was a blank spot and you were doing something, and there's nothing else to do, and I'm just sitting there and I'm scrolling, and I see Spider-Man 3 just started 2 minutes ago, and I'm like, yes! So I flick it on, and I'm like, this is great, because I enjoy that movie.
I'd like to have the main topic notes, by the way.
You do.
No, I don't.
Then where are they? Because I gave all the people. You forgot to print them out there.
Tell your story.
And I'm sitting there, and it's almost at that scene. That's one of my favorite scenes of the whole movie. And Mom's like, "Hey, Nathan." I'm like, "Okay." I go into the next room, and she's like, "Can you go down to the across the street and get me a sandwich from?"
Oh yeah, from that place we were.
That was,
in New York.
really
That's
good.
where we were.
And she's like, "Get us both a sandwich and a drink and whatever." And I'm like, "Okay." And I
What is that? Can you do that again?
okay. Well, that's how my voice was back then.
Still is, apparently. Okay.
And so I go down there and I'm getting it, and I noticed I wasn't able to pause it. It was right at that scene. And I come back, and it's almost at the end of the movie, and I
You
was
missed
so angry because I've never watched it in its full capacity. And I was
Alright.
always like,
Should I watch Star Wars?
No, not right now. We're gonna record because it's 8:30. So we got our main topic.
What's her
there's a lot.
chat saying?
What's the chat saying?
Yeah.
They're just saying hi. They thought that the story was funny. JG did. So the
Hey, it's
season,
scary, okay.
Kylo in the throne room. Yeah, awesome. Very much so about Blanca. Thanks for joining us, Blanca. By the way, appreciate that. It's okay. We just released our guide for Saturday. I'll DM it to you. Awesome, JG. Okay, you're the best, bud. All right. Okay, I've got my notes here. So
For real?
Well, I'm going to use them off the computer. So okay, you guys don't talk. So after years of wondering and dreaming and hoping, we've got our first in-depth look at Star Wars Galaxy Edge. The details are staggering. I can't really do staggering at this time. Yeah. And this episode might be a long one. Punch it, Chewie. Ray's theme doesn't work after saying punch it, Chewie. It's
I just imagine going through a little feel. Like they're just flying these little bubbles.
Punch it, Chewie.
Punch it, Chewie. Ding, ding, ding.
I see like bubbles trailing off the Falcon and like the rainbows, like some field of daisies.
Oh gosh.
And our
All right, here we
podcast
go, here we
listeners
go,
don't
here we
get
go,
to
here
hear
we go.
this.
Yeah, maybe not the right punch. The punch it Chewie may not have worked going into that thing. But anyway, I stole all of this content from CNN.com because they steal their news from everyone else too.
And the makeup song.
Okay. Anyway, Galaxy's Edge promises to do the one thing that 10 and counting feature films, shows, books, games, and more have never been able to deliver. A fully physical and immersive experience with the look, feel, sound, smells, and even tastes
Well, I mean,
of Star Wars. It's a detailed and architecturally accurate 14-acre
Is that
playground
big?
that's big enough with character interactions, unique food, and shopping you won't find outside the parks. And of course, some rides.
Oh,
So you guys let's not, we're going to go
there's
into
only like 2 rides though, right?
We're going to break it down.
Well,
We're going to talk about the backstory. We're going to talk about the rides. We're going to talk about the location. We're going to talk about the food. We're going to talk about the shopping, all that stuff. But what's your initial? Did you guys check out any of this stuff?
A little bit, yeah.
I checked out all of it and more, probably too much, but they did not say that they're going to have more than 2 rides, but they did say they had 2. The Rise of Resistance and Millennium Falcon are the 2 anchor rides, the big rides. So they'll probably
So
have
like Tomorrowland, the big ride is a Space Mountain,
and Star Tours
right? But they've got all those.
and the
other
Buzz Lightyears and then the your
That'd be cool.
Astrospheres thing.
All right, so let's talk about it. There's backstory to this.
There is back.
There's a backstory to Batu, or to Galaxy's Edge. The planet is called Batu, an Earth-like planet full of giant, ancient, petrified tree stumps up to 135 feet
That's pretty tall.
in the parks. That's pretty tall. Located in the uncharted Outer Rim, here we go again. Its main town, Blackspire Outpost, named after one mysteriously dark tree stump, was once along the main trade route, but has now become more of a haven for smugglers and traders. Not traders, like traders, like people, like trading items. I think it makes more sense that way. The First Order has also just arrived, looking for evidence of the Resistance. A theme park attraction doesn't normally require a story or a timeline, and for some guests it won't matter, but this is Star Wars, which is foremost an epic myth. To be authentic, a fictional destination like Batu needs to fit on a galactic map and within the established narrative timeline. In this chapter, however, you are invited to be a character. Samuel, what is your initial thoughts on the backstory idea?
I don't know. I'm so excited.
Okay.
I'm like, that has been a dream. Like, this is like a dream of mine. It's been like for years, ever since I've been a Star Wars.
Yeah, because you're so old.
Right.
And you've been involved, Star Wars for like 5 years.
But like, I see like these things on Facebook and it's like blue pill or red pill. Blue pill brings the Star Wars character to your world. Red pill, you live in the Star Wars universe. I take the red pill in a heartbeat.
Or green pill. Both.
You just make stuff up, don't you? What is your thoughts on the backstory?
I
Because
like
you were trying to talk
they
about it in
didn't-
lunch
they
and I wouldn't let
give
you.
all of it.
So tell us.
They didn't give all of it. Rise of the Resistance and probably episode 9.
What's Rise of the Resistance? That's the
the ride.
Right, we're going to talk about that in a minute. Okay.
But they don't have it in here because it's CNN. But on the
No, we're going to have it in a minute.
yeah, but the Star
No,
Wars.
what he's about to say.
Okay, so say it.
But Star Wars, they said that this the game is the ride is going to be set on the kind of the back parts of Blackspire Outpost, and also is when the Resistance just got back up on their feet and they are trying to rebuild. And they didn't say between episode 8 or 9, but they don't think they've had a destruction so big where at the end of Last Jedi, where he's like, what do we do now? And like I says, we rebuild.
So your understanding is that Batu is the location that they decide to
They
rebuild
said
the
they
resistance.
said that the resistance base is there in First Order training.
Well, now that's an interesting development because they've been filming for episode 9 in the location that they thought reminded people a lot of Yavin 4.
Oh.
But there's also a lot of discussion in this article and some other things I've read that Batu sort of patterns itself and has a Yavin 4 feel to it.
Yeah.
So do you think that Batu is prevalent in Star Wars Episode 9?
I feel like
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
That's intense if they try to pull that off.
This is probably
then just throw Kaz in there.
Disney's and Star Wars' most ambitious, I don't know, project
If Episode
ever.
9 is the location of the Resistance headquarters in
Or
Star Wars Episode
if
9,
Batu
if
is.
Batu is in Episode 9, that's going to be a major, major thing to pull off.
And they're just gonna throw Kaz in Episode 9 because why not?
Why not? Okay, that's cool. So let's talk about the rides for just a minute. There's 2 that they've confirmed. 2 anchor rides that they've confirmed. Rise of the Resistance. All right, so I've kind of tried to piece together the description to try to make sense of it without it being 4 pages long. A cinematic experience with a ride inside. Okay, so it's a movie feel, like you're experiencing a movie with a ride inside.
It's like 4D if they went full.
Okay. So it's like a it's an interactive experience that isn't all
So-
on a ride.
You know those like 3 or 4 movies that have come out where it's all first person, right?
Mm.
Imagine that you see a Star Wars character going through a First Order base. You're that character.
So you're
are you
living
gonna
it
be
out.
sitting in a screen? In
No.
front of a screen?
No, see, I mean, you're going to
You're playing
living,
a character.
Oh, okay,
You're
that
going
makes
to
more
be
sense.
living a movie.
So you'll be walking around experiencing it, then occasionally getting on a ride. And so
They
Yeah.
said that it was going to be a gloriously. This is exactly what they said. A gloriously long ride.
Will you say it
Well-
just like that one more time? Facial expressions and everything. 'Cause
I
that
don't
was
remember
awesome.
what my facial expression was like.
But try it again.
Gloriously
Glorious.
long ride, and they said that
Oh, yeah.
you'll love it.
So
I
here's
heard that this is the longest.
So here's where it comes. I was talking about this a minute ago. Your adventure will take place inside the corridors of a rebel base in ancient sacred caves, shades of the base on Yavin 4. It looks like feels like Yavin 4.
Well, they said rebel base.
Right? And it's resistance, same thing. And onto a troop transport ship where you will be captured by a Star Destroyer and then thrown in a prison cell block where you belong, rebel scum. What do you think?
That's gonna be our reaction for most of this. It's just
Thanks.
And also, I heard that you will be coming face to face with Kylo.
Well, we're going to talk about that next. Cameos include Rey, Poe, Finn, Kylo Ren, BB-8, a John Williams score, those classic blue Rebel light panel battle maps, a full-sized AT-AT transport walker, and a massive Star Destroyer hangar bay with a window looking out into space. It will be one of the longest rides in the park and require Disney's cast members to join in the action.
so it's not gonna be all animatronic.
No, it's going to have like stormtroopers and rebels and
Hondo
is
is going to be in there,
Hondo and Naka. They have an animatronic of it that looks absolutely amazing.
and Ray.
But that's not yet. That's in the next one.
Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Adam Driver.
Animatronics.
Yes,
Yeah.
but they all reprised their voices. They all did their voice. And BB-8 is going to actually.
But the Hondo and Naka is not on Rise of Resistance.
No,
so.
but
So,
So
I don't know what to say. I gotta gather my thoughts though. I gotta think.
shouldn't take long.
Nah, it shouldn't. Okay. So do you think? And we've theorized this. Like, so you're with the Resistance. You're in the base. That's part of the queue line, but it doesn't feel like it.
Mm-hmm.
You go on a troop transport. That's part of the ride. You get captured. That's all part of the ride. Then you're transferred to a holding cell. That's part of the queue line. Then after the holding cell, you're broken out. That's part of the ride. And then you get on something else, and it's the queue line. So basically, it's just a really well integrated queue line.
I'm hoping that if you're in the queue line for
You
3
don't
or
even
4
know you're-
hours, you're experiencing
Like,
fully immersive Star Wars.
you know what?
universe
I
the whole
wouldn't
time.
care if I'm sitting in a cell for 4 hours with nothing to do.
If
I would
there's,
have freaking-
especially if there's like first order troopers
Walking by,
coming by
or-
and like mocking you, and like you're
yeah,
dealing with.
like I would not care.
Put me in jail, baby.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I will pay you money.
they said it would be the longest ride, not queue line. I feel like there's gonna be
Well, the ride's
you're
30 minutes long
misinterpreting what we're-
itself.
yes.
But the queue line itself, if it's fully interactive, it's fully immersive, it's worth every
And
second of it.
when they released the Galaxy's Edge, even announcing it, they said the queue lines are not going to just be like Hyperspace Mountain that
Right.
Disneyland After Dark. You just stand in there. They said it's going to be fully immersive, and you'll have stuff to do.
Yeah.
Sort of
during
like
the queue lines.
what was it? Guardians of the Galaxy Breakout.
Yes,
But even better.
but even
I
better, they
hope.
said you'll have stuff to do during the queue lines.
Yeah.
I think there was stuff to do.
There's a lot more I'm hoping for.
Anyway, I'm
Yeah.
pumped.
Pretty cool. All right, let's talk about the next ride. Smuggler's Run. This is the one I'm excited
Well,
about.
obviously.
Smuggler's Run will let you pilot. Dramatic pause for the biggest spoiler. The Millennium Falcon.
That was just
cargo
awkward.
mission. The most selfie part of Galaxy's Edge will no doubt be the docked, full-scale, 100-plus foot long, movie-perfect Millennium Falcon that can be viewed at all angles, even from above.
So it's like they just parked the Falcon in the.
It's
the
like
park.
the props for the Millennium Falcon in the
Mhm.
movies. They basically built that.
And I've heard it described, so to keep the movie realistic feel, the entrance, so to speak, to the ride is not like neon signs flashing to it. It's like really, it's integrated. It looks like it's just a ramp to the
Yeah.
Falcon. But that's the interest of the ride,
I'll
you
have
know?
to show you. They had a photo of it almost done with 4 panels needing to be put on and how it will look.
Wow.
I'll have to show you guys.
So Smuggler's Run mission is directed by a next-generation animatronic Hondo Anaka,
Oh,
a Star Wars character who's only ever been rendered in animation in the Clone Wars and Rebels TV shows, books, and games. As a crew of 6, you fly a mission on the Falcon, which is fast enough for you, old man. That's for me. Yeah, it's fast enough. I'll take it. All right, you can call me an old man. So here's my question. If they're trying to make this fully integrated, this is the base from episode 9. Let's kind of explore this idea that we talked about.
Okay.
It makes sense that the Falcon would be there.
yeah.
Do Rey and Poe and Finn and Rose alter the Millennium Falcon to have 6 seats in the cockpit so that it fits with what happens in episode 9? Do they do that so that when you get on it, you feel like you're in the real Millennium Falcon? Because here's the problem for me. As a
there's only
huge
4
Star
seats.
Wars fan, you walk into the Millennium Falcon cockpit. There's only supposed to be 2 seats. Well, I mean, you know what I'm talking about. There's Han's seat, there's Chewie's seat, and then people stand and hang out behind that.
Well, there was
Or
2
sit
seats in the
behind
back.
that.
There's 2
But
seats
it's
in the
not the
back.
6 seats.
No, there's not
So
6 seats.
it pulls me out of the story. When I've seen the videos like we saw on Christmas Day and all
Yeah,
that
and that's
stuff,
talking about.
when they show the 6 seats, it pulls me out of the experience because that's not the way the Falcon's supposed to be. I get it; they need to have 6 seats in there in order to make the ride move and for
Right,
families
just
and stuff
for
like that. I
logistics
get
and
it. I get it. But it doesn't still at that
So I
point. It doesn't
forget-
feel like the Falcon.
I forget, where is the 6th seat located?
No, they're just like 3 rows of 2 seats on the thing, and they're all having a role. So do they change the Falcon before? I mean, is that the extent that they're going to go to try to integrate this together? If episode 9 is as integrated with Galaxy's Edge and Galaxy's Edge is as integrated with episode 9, do they change the Falcon for episode 9? to
Or
have 6
maybe
seats?
they retcon it to where there were 2 seats in the back the whole time, but they weren't like seats with chair backs. They were like little panels on the side of the wall that you pull out and then you sit on.
You got to make it. You got to make it real.
You gotta
I don't
retcon
know.
it.
So it's a whole Falcon, and I think the queue line is out of Falcon. I think you get to use the whole Falcon.
Yeah, I get that. I'm talking about the 6 seats for the actual ride.
I know
portion.
you're talking about 6 seats, but with Sammy's idea of the panels being pulled out, maybe those are there. I feel like for it to be even as immersive as you want, those 2 people, I feel like it could be like, say, an escape room.
And they have to run around the Falcon.
And you have to run around the
No,
Falcon.
because we saw in the
The sneak peek that was on Christmas Day.
right,
There were 6 seats in the Falcon.
right with all the people in the cockpit.
They were all sitting there,
having
they
a
all had
role
their own
in the
job
cockpit.
and that kind of thing.
but I don't know what jobs the other two people in the back have.
How good are the jobs and the people?
The point
behind
is-
pilot.
The point is, I'm curious to see if they're trying to make that fit. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you mean.
All right,
I'm
so
still
the
super
level of your collective success on Smuggler's Run is determined by how well you pilot and shoot your way out of trouble. To reward getting back in the queue again, so they're trying to get you back in the line to do the ride again. To reward you to get back into the queue, Smuggler's Run has so much variability that, like a video game, each ride will be unique.
So it's going to be even more different than Star Tours because it's not just a randomly generated series of clips.
You have
This
to do
is a video game where it's all dependent on how you do it.
Right. Yeah,
So
ready.
they
Let's do
said
it.
shoot your way out. Maybe Nate's
Well,
not-
yeah, maybe they're
Nate's
guns.
onto
Maybe they
something.
move the guns into that situation.
Maybe Nate's onto a point though. Maybe you do have to run and go sit in.
Or
your
maybe
seat or
like
something.
one of the jobs.
Could you imagine sitting?
Put me in the seat. I want to either pilot the thing or shoot the guns that Luke and Han
the
shot.
ones where like the seats move
Yes.
around? Oh,
And what I would like, what is his name?
He's doing.
Beckett in Solo. He had to go around and get to the.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to have to
Feelings.
running because of safety issues, but
No, not running.
I would love to see this. Yeah, let's do it. All right, so let's talk about Batu. Black Spire Outpost will be as bustling as City Planet Coruscant. Not just because of all the guests, but because of everything else the park will supply. Special effects, animatronic droids, and creatures acting out, and Disney cast members will embody the local characters. Everyone working at Galaxy's Edge will be able to mix and match costume elements by personal taste from a variety of designs at Disney parks first. The black, brown, and gray palette and fashion would fit in the background of any film scene in Star Wars. And there are so many Easter eggs. The keen-eyed fan will spot familiar vehicles, weapons, droids, and creatures, and revel in other things and in others they've never seen before. One classic creature will be easy to spot: a Dianaga, a one-eyed water serpent from the trash compactor scene in Episode 4, will make an appearance above a water fountain. Further immersion will be available through a new Galaxy's Edge mode of the Disney Play app.
yeah, I heard of this.
Guests are encouraged to create a profile and use the app to hack open doors, translate alien languages, receive missions and messages from characters. The app, with its easy games and transmissions to monitor, can keep any guest waiting in a long line busy in universe and off of Facebook.
It's like the Kim Possible scavenger hunt.
But
But
better.
times 1,000.
Missions you have to go figure out. Doors you have to hack.
Doors you can unlock. There's going to be parts of the park that you wouldn't be able to go to if you didn't have the app.
We need that app.
Whoa! We could go to Disneyland for a week and never leave Galaxy's Edge, and I'd be fine with it.
Oh my gosh.
Whoa, Disney. Here, I'm gonna have.
Wait,
my
wait,
heart.
wait.
Well, we don't have time for the music.
Okay,
today.
just pretend Disney that there's
It's
some
like
motivation.
beautiful ambient music in the background because we're going to take time tonight.
If you want us to come to your park and review it, we would be more than happy to do so. I mean, we'll talk about it on our podcast, we'll put it on Twitter, website, whatever you need. We'd be more than happy to do so. Like
That's true. So let's talk about shopping. Shopping is out of this world. The vendor stalls won't look or feel like a typical shop. Toys will appear handcrafted, and your new knitted Ray doll, Cantina instrument, or fuzzy roaring tauntaun won't come in a plastic box. Creature-only shop is where you can get your own talking, flapping porg. Turbis is what I'm praying for. Among the
What
other
if-
alien
hold on.
pets.
So the app said you could translate to alien text. What if, like, on the tag, there's like alien text, and you
Oh
scan
my
it, and it says
gosh.
Turbis? Oh,
Yeah.
Breathe.
I'm literally a little bit freaked out right now. Among the specialty shops, one will be a den of rare and exclusive antiquities from around the galaxy, such as classic lightsabers and items that honor the old Sith and Jedi lineages.
I'm gonna go broke at this part.
Another shop will let you custom build a remote-controlled mini about a foot tall, give or take a few inches, BB unit or R2 astromech droid of varying colors. Elsewhere, you can build a lightsaber from various designs of kyber crystal colors. There will be a Star Wars looking clothes for sale, but T-shirts that read Star Wars will more likely be sold outside of Galaxy's
Yeah, I've heard
Edge.
of this. Because they're trying to make it like
Because if
walk out
you're
of
in the
Disney.
Star Wars galaxy, you don't know what
There's
Star
no such
Wars
thing as
is.
Disney.
It's
or
like-
Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's life. They're trying to make it to where when you walk into the Galaxy's Edge, you're walking out of Disneyland and into that too. So everything is going to be immersive. Now, that's one might think, well, you can't have all Orabesh text, right? Because you got to have some English text. There's an in-canon explanation for that too, which is like it was like the high language or something that the core worlds would use.
Right.
So there's in-canon explanations for everything they're gonna do. And then the droids, they're like little buddies in the park. They interact with cast members. If you just do well on the ride, they do well on the ride. If you program it to be afraid of stormtroopers, stormtrooper will walk by, your little droid will freak out or something, And if you build your droid with a group of other people, your droids might be able to recognize each other and stuff.
It's going to be amazing.
And also, Rex, the pilot of Star Tours, I don't know if he was fired or something.
Yeah,
but,
we're going to talk about him in a second.
Yes, but talking about him, he also has a role in the Build Your Own Droid.
Oh, really?
You can, I think, just buy him, but he would be in his DJ form, and he would counteract as a Bluetooth speaker.
It would be a Bluetooth speaker.
Oh, I need that too.
All right.
I'm gonna go broke at this park.
I'm already
right
broken.
now.
It hasn't even opened. I haven't spent a dime yet, but I'm already broken my head. All right, food. The in-universe menu created specifically for Black Spire includes Ka'adu sticky ribs. This animal, which Jar Jar Binks wrote on screen, tastes like pork. And fried Andorian tip-yip, chicken. And the hummus, pita, and spicy vegan meatballs made by the Earthlings at Impossible Foods is out of this world delicious. Blue milk will be on tap, a creamy and fruity concoction made from plant-based milk. Other non-alcoholic drinks include an Arnold Palmer-esque Tatooine sunset. Totally going to get that one when we go. And refreshing sweet and sour sarlacc and moof juice. And because and because we're in an outer rim spaceport, there's a cantina. Oga's Cantina is an elaborate bar that's also there's an outer rim spaceport cantina that's 21 years and older alcoholic drinks that you guys wouldn't be allowed to go into. But then you also have Oga's Cantina, which is an elaborate bar that's also family friendly, serving blue milk and cookies for the kids and playing an 80s meets Bollywood playlist spun by DJ R3X Rex, a former pilot droid known to many fans from the older Star Wars Tours ride, which is not going
One
away.
opens this summer, right?
Well, yeah, I can't remember. I think Disney World opens in the summer.
Yeah,
Disneyland opens in the
Okay, hold on.
It's Disneyland.
and then Disney World.
Don't lots of students have senior trips?
Yeah.
Okay, this is my senior trip. Now, when I'm 21,
And on that note, you can support us by Patreon at patreon.com/CatchMeSons.
Well, sorry, go find me.
And then, you know how people do stuff on their 21st birthday? We're going back on my 21st birthday so I can go to that bar.
You want to get your first alcoholic drink from that bar?
Where else would I want to get my first alcoholic drink?
We talked about doing Scum and Villainy for that, but this is better.
This is so much better.
BB Nate's like, well, I'm not going to get to go to that, but that's
Not yet.
Not even close.
Anyway. So what do you think about the food and all that kind of stuff, guys? You think it's pretty cool?
So
I'm ready to go, ready to sit down and eat, ready to
at
buy
a
stuff.
cantina where they're playing Star Wars music by a droid DJ.
What do you think, BB Nate?
Freaking out.
You've been
And then,
immersing yourself in this all day.
I have. I think it's great. I'm
I'm
excited
gonna-
for it. So,
Very cool.
I don't know what to say. I'm just so excited. It's
they
like-
said that you said that they even said that you want to feel like going from Disneyland or World into Batu. Are they going to have
a
a
transition.
certain amount of sections that they're going to let into the park? Have a transition where you're they talk about it, you go into hyperspace, you get there, and then they.
Well, I think that I don't know for sure, but I think that especially at Walt Disney World, that the resort that's tied into it, you never leave
No.
a Star Wars theme. So you get onto a vehicle that's like a ship, a spaceship, to go from the resort to Batu. They let you out in Batu, like you're landing on the planet, and they go from there. That's what you want to do. That's it. So right.
Oh, I don't know.
we'll see.
I'm going to
I'm
go
already-
broke at this park. And I will not feel bad.
I'm
I'll
seeing
be
my
like,
$100
worth
gift
it.
card.
There you go.
I'll be living on the street. No big deal.
All right, cool. All right, let's talk about anything else. All right, so what's the first one? J.J. Abrams goes on record. TLJ backlash had zero effect on episode 9. That's the Rotten Tomatoes drops.
Dad, you
lots
should
of
probably do
reviews.
the Kylo Ren one because I.
Kylo Ren's new helmet in
that.
Star Wars episode 9 might be a secret twist. Yeah, I'll do that one, but who wants to do the other two?
I'll do JJ, so Nate, you can do the Rotten Tomatoes thing.
Are you guys ready?
That's your thing.
All right. Anything going on over here on YouTube?
I didn't really.
The German buffet, vegan food, yummy. My first drink was at Epcot.
That's awesome.
What do you guys think about that Jedi? That Jedi family costume was cool, Blanca. That was awesome. Yeah. Did you see it?
There's a Jedi family that you can
Like
get
you could buy like full costumes. And,
Like a family
Yeah.
costume.
So they have the selection between a Jedi or Sith or Scavenger for each gender or
and each age. Yeah.
That's
Yeah. That's pretty
amazing.
cool. Okay, let's finish this thing up. It's getting late.
Yes, it is.
All right. So is there anything else you guys want to talk about?
J.J. Abrams has gone on record. The Last Jedi Backlash had zero effect on episode 9.
Well, of course, it should have had zero effect because The Last Jedi was an amazing movie.
Right.
But at the same time, directors and writers of movies should not be governed by fans that don't know how to control their emotions. So that's why there will never be a Snyder cut. And now I've just lost 5,000 Twitter followers.
What's Snyder?
For
Batman
Justice League.
Justice League.
Justice League. Okay. Rotten Tomatoes drops want to see reviews after Captain Marvel and Star Wars review bombing.
Wait, Captain Marvel was affected by this too?
Oh.
Captain Marvel's got the lowest Rotten Tomatoes score of any MCU movie in history. And
It
no one's
hasn't
seen
even
it.
come out.
Right. That's the
What is
point.
their problem with
Star Wars
the
Episode
movie?
9 hasn't even gotten a title yet. And it was getting a review bombed.
Yeah, they should remove. Oh,
So
they
they-
did drop it.
They changed the rules. What people are pushing for is them to go a step further, and that's like not allow someone to review it unless they can scan their ticket to prove that they've seen the movie.
Some sort of verification.
Because right now it's ridiculous what's going on. It's absurd.
It's childish.
It's one little victory, but there's got to be more for this kind of stuff. I just think it's ridiculous. And people say, why are you so worried about it? I'm worried about it because people take these review sites when they don't know what's going on. They take them seriously.
Yeah. They see the Rotten Tomatoes score and the audience score and they think, oh, it's like we've done it. Nate and I have done it. We'll be like, oh man, this has a really bad Rotten Tomatoes score. And then we watch the movie and we're like, this is actually a pretty fun movie.
We
you know?
got an example. Pixels. That was a great movie.
I mean, it was
It was
funny
a lot of fun. It
because
wasn't
it was
designed to
dumb.
be an emotionally riveting movie, but it was fun. It was fun. It was funny.
16%.
Yeah, we got it on video, don't we?
Yeah, we own the thing.
We own it because it was good.
Yeah.
We liked it.
I mean, so you
Let
can-
people judge movies based on seeing the movies, not judge movies based on people that haven't seen the movies saying that they stink. It's ridiculous. So we've got to be that. This is one step on a long road to where I hope that we can fix this stuff. So I'm done. That was my soapbox.
Your rant.
Kylo Ren's new helmet in Star Wars Episode 9 might be a secret twist. So here's the theory. All right, and it is just a theory. You know, they're talking about there's been this leak, the photo of the helmet put back together with the red and all that kind of stuff. That he wore that as the leader of the Knights of Red,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And so the theory is he's no longer the leader of the Knights of Red. That one of the Knights of Red has assumed that role and put the mask back together himself, and that person is wearing this mask as the leader of the Knights of Red, and he's actually not a part of it anymore. It's a theory. I think it's silly. I think it's
Yeah, I don't
ridiculous.
like it.
But I think the mask actually makes a lot more sense as a fractured, him trying to hide behind his mask, trying to put his fractured psyche back together. It makes much more sense. We talked about that before on an episode like 10 weeks ago. So Anyway, is that good?
Good. I like it.
So let's talk about this week's podcast poll of the week. What are you hoping? When are you hoping to make your first visit to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge? Within the first 6 months,
Yes.
6 months to 1 year, 1 year to 2 years, probably never. So you get to vote in that. Let us know what you guys think, and we'd love for you guys to interact with that on the comments as well. Reply to us and let us know why you voted what you voted. I guess that's it. We got through another podcast episode. Next one we'll be doing, you guys will, I'll be sitting here in front of this camera by myself, and you guys will be on my screen, and I don't know if it'll make any sense to anybody watching on YouTube Live, but hey, it'll be interesting. So thanks guys for tuning in again to this podcast, and those of you that tuned in on YouTube Live. If you are listening to the podcast and you'd love to participate in the YouTube Live recording, you just have to subscribe on YouTube to our podcast and give yourself notifications, and when we go live, you'll know about it. That's pretty much that. We're on Twitter at Tatooine Sons, on Facebook at Tatooine Sons, on Instagram at Tatooine Sons, here on YouTube at Tatooine Sons. We've got a really cool Patreon page, patreon.com/Tatooine Sons. Heck, if we had a MySpace page, you can find us at Tatooine Sons. I don't think MySpace is around anymore.
Yeah, I think they died.
You want to try to resurrect it?
Yeah, let's get
Let's go get a MySpace page.
Yeah.
Tell people to start following us on MySpace. So, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys. Review us too. Your reviews mean a lot to us. So
Really.
the episode's over. Take a second to switch on over to iTunes. Give us a review and a rating on that. 5 stars. It would be very much appreciated. I guess that's pretty much it for tonight. Anything else you guys want to say?
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
Dance it out, guys. Every week. Come on, you guys got to dance it out.
I'm dancing. That's how I normally dance.
This is the Cantina theme, if you didn't know. Oh, thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys are awesome. JG, thanks for sticking with us from the beginning to the end. Blanca for joining us. Grammy, you probably tuned out a long time ago because you've only commented that one time. Or maybe twice. She did comment on here to tell me I'm old.
Yeah.
But Grammy, guess
sounds
what?
like Grammy.
You're a lot older than I am.
He used super glue for the helmet.
Yeah.
And
Gorilla Glue. I used Gorilla Glue to fix my car this week. You know that
Yeah.
that thing.
Oh,
that-
leather panel fell off. Yeah. Good job, guys. Well, thank you.
You guys are awesome. Thank you guys so much. May the Force be with you.
It wasn't as much of a train wreck.
No, it was actually good this week.
We were a little bit more prepared.
Bye.